Hallo liebe Zuschauer und willkommen zurück bei AfrikaOutlook. Das Thema immer noch Celebrating the African Diaspora. Mit mir im Studio habe ich jetzt Martin Ojo.
Thank you so much.
Martin ist ja ein ganz bekannter Name, ne?
Ja.
Wir wissen ja alle, Martin gibt es auch im Deutschen sozusagen. Ja. Aber was ist Ojo? Was bedeutet das?
Ojo actually came from Ojo. Way back in school, I had this teacher. She couldn't really pronounce Ojo. She would call it Ojo, and you know, students, and it became fun for everyone. Ojo, everyone started calling me Ojo, 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 up to date. So people call me Ojo. It has become like a household name for
Aber jetzt
me.
Prince Ojo.
Prince Ojo.
Ojo.
Yeah.
So nenn dich auch deine, the people you talk to on the radio.
Yeah, yeah. My fans, my followers on social media, they know me as Prince Ojo.
Okay, that's great. So before we do anything else, today the theme is Celebrating the African Diaspora.
Yeah.
Und ihr beide seid doch aus Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I want to know how well you know your diaspora, since we're celebrating it.
Okay.
Und ich habe einige Fragen an euch. Mal gucken, ob ihr die beantworten könnt. Einverstanden?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, meine erste Frage. Your flag, the Nigerian flag. Wie viele Farben sind in der nigerianischen Flagge? How many colors are there?
Just two colors.
Just two, and what do they symbolize?
It's green, white, and green. The green symbolizes the fertile land, agriculture, production, while the white stands for peace. We're peace-loving people.
Yes, right. Or also unity.
And unity too, yeah.
Perfect. In 1991, something happened. The capital was switched from one to the other. From?
Lagos
to?
Abuja.
Abuja.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But Lagos is still the biggest economic
It's like, I would say, the capital moved to Abuja. So you could say the administrative capital is Abuja, but the economic capital still remains Lagos.
And also third largest economic capital in Africa.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So which countries border Nigeria? You need to know about your neighbors. It's Africa. We are very friendly people.
Yeah.
We need to know our neighbors. So who are they?
We have, on the northern part, you have Niger Republic and Chad.
Niger and Chad?
Niger and Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, then on the western part, you have Benin Republic, and going down to the southeast, you have close to Calabar, you have Cameroon.
That's amazing. Captain, the next one goes to you because you're not answering anything. So, what is the national day in Nigeria?
About Independence Day?
Yes.
It's the October 1st.
1st of October,
yeah.
Correct. And this is a topic that I personally love. Who doesn't love money?
Everybody.
Everybody loves money. So what's the current, since we in Europe, we use Euro. Das weiß jeder, wir benutzen Euros, also in Deutschland zumindest. What currency do you use in Nigeria?
We use Naira, but that was after independence. Before independence, we're using pounds.
You were using pounds before. Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. So, jetzt zu dir, Prince Ojo.
Thank you so much.
Oder Ojo, genau. You're a radio presenter for African Heritage FM.
You're right.
And you have your link, that's the African culture.
Yeah, the cultural link.
Cultural link.
Cultural link.
Okay,
yeah.
Tell us about what you do.
I'm a producer and a radio host from the radio African Heritage and Radio Germany, FM 96.0. And the program is called Cultural Link. It's every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Jeden Samstag von 18 von 18 bis 20 Uhr könnt ihr euch ihn euch anhören auf 69? 96.
Yeah.
96, genau, 96,0.
Yeah.
Und what do you talk about on the show?
Yeah, basically Cultural Link, as the name goes, we're trying to link the African culture with the diaspora, you know, especially for the Africans who were born in the diaspora who really don't have a strong ties back home with where they are, who have African descent. you know, try to like connect them back home. And also promote African in the diaspora, Africans who are normal Africans who are doing extraordinary things in their own choosing careers. So it's also a medium to promote these Africans in the diaspora and who are also contributing their own little quota to the growth and development of their host society. That's Germany, for example. Yeah.
Talking about host societies, what would you say to those Africans who want to immigrate into the Western world? Would you tell them to stay there and build their own country or to come over?
Yeah, it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. First of all, when you want to live, you have to be convinced. If you want to migrate, you have to be convinced. You're not migrating because people have done it or people did it. You have to be convinced of what you want to do or what you want to go and get from there, you know. So even if you are there, even if you migrate and you're there, you can still contribute back to your motherland or wherever you came from. So
it's about not forgetting where you're from. It's being true to your roots.
Yeah.
That's why we're also celebrating the African diaspora today.
Yeah.
Okay, that's there. I like your outfit today.
Thank you so much. That's what it represents.
From Africa and I'm embracing it. I love it.
You know, I'm trying to represent Africa.
Okay, so how long have you been in Germany?
I've been in Germany now for, I think, this is my 4th year.
4th year?
Yeah.
How do you like it here?
Yeah, it's good.
But it's a lot different also. There's a different culture here.
Yeah, it's a different...
How's the weather?
Wow. You can ask that again. I mean, the weather's, you know, when it's cold, it's cold. Sometimes when it's hot, but, I mean, it's good. And it's, like I say, it's a new experience. And it's always normal for you to have a cultural shock. Yeah, cultural shock, the initial stage. But in the process of that cultural shock, you get to integrate. Inculturation, integration is taking place gradually. It's a process, you know. So
what do you tell your fans or your listeners? What's your main message to those who are listening to you?
Yeah, like I always say on the radio, if we don't celebrate what is ours, no one is going to celebrate it for us. True. So as Africans, you have to, I have a particular song that starts my program. It says, we are Africans and we are proud. We are black and we are Africans. So as an African, you have to be proud of being who you are. You have to be proud of who you are because nobody's going to help you to sell Africa. You have to sell Africa positively.
So in the society today, since we're talking about selling Africa positively, we have a lot of people who try to imitate the Western world so much, straightening the hair when it comes to the girls, trying to look more like Westernized, even with the guys, trying to talk like them. What did you say to such people?
What I would say is this, don't get me wrong, it's good to a mix of society. Society is an evolutionary thing. Society changes at every point in time. If you take your mind back, I'm sure the way people dressed in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, there are changes. Even if you have to dress, you can take your African fabrics and make out a contemporary dress from it, like what my co-guest here is wearing. I mean, someone can take an this fabric and make out something like this, and you wear, and that's also beautiful. Which means you're saying Africa fabrics can also make for a regular European style of dressing.
That's true. That's very true. So, during the 4 years that you've been here, there's a stereotype of way that other people might tend to see Africans here. Africans are a certain way. How do you deal with such prejudice and such judgment?
It's a real big thing. You keep reorientating people when you meet people. I remember I met someone some time ago, a German, and she said she's a specialist in African studies. We met in the train. She was holding a book that read African studies. I was like, oh, you speak English? Yeah. So she has a PhD in African studies. So really? So do you know Africa very well? Have you been to Africa? She said, once. I said, okay, but I agree. Theoretically, you know Africa, but practically, I would say, no, you don't know Africa. For you to know Africa, you have to live, you must have lived there, experienced what they experience. Like we say, nobody can tell the African story, except the Africans have to tell it from the African perspective. No, Africans were very unique people. To tell the African stories, you have to tell it from the African perspective.
That's true, because there's a time I used to work at a certain place, and you know, there's Leute, die halt viel umkommen, also in the world, who travel a lot. And she looked at me and she said, "Are you from Eritrea?" And I told her, "No, I'm not from Eritrea." And I told her where I'm from, and she told me, "Oh, I saw because of the way your face." And then she asked me a question, because what we see on the TV doesn't really picture or portray what is really there in Africa, because they tend to show a lot of negativity. They tend to show that people are hungering, that there's lack in Africa, and that's not the way Africa actually is. So what you do actually is you try to give people a real picture of how Africa is and how you see it from your view.
From your view, and how beautiful the African culture is.
It's very beautiful, actually. Yeah. So you tell me about what you do on radio. You don't only talk to German. Your public, your listeners are not only Germans. No. They're from all over the world.
From all over the world. Have over 3 million listeners. You know, well, sometimes we have some burning issues on the program. Calls are coming in from the US, from Canada, from France, from the UK, even from Africa. People in Africa, they're also listening. So they also call to make their own contributions. And sometimes we get to bring some of these Africans here in the diaspora who are examples, who have good examples, who have in their own little way, you know, changing the perception of Africa. We'll bring them to the studio, we'll get to talk with them, ask them how did you do it, so that some of these people they're like role models to the younger generations of African descent. Who, you know, coming up, you have people to look up to, and these Africans, or I call them living legends, because definitely they have to leave their footsteps on the sands of time, so that history will forever remember them.
It's amazing to get so much positive feedback also from the people back.
Yeah.
What are the challenges that you face while doing what you do?
You know, initially, you know, you think initially, if you have to wait for people around here to listen to you, you know, when somebody like you are a moderator on TV, but somebody says, "Oh, Sarah is on TV," and somebody is going to say, "Oh, Sarah, I know Sarah very well. What's she going to say?" I know Sarah. I'm always with Sarah. What's she going to say? She's not going to say anything new that is short of what we're always talking about. Okay. You know, those are challenges you have to deal with from the beginning. Nobody might be listening to you, but gradually, and sometimes you might think people are not listening to you. You wait until you come up with some burning issues, or you throw some kind of questions. Then when you start getting responses, then you know people are listening to you. I mean, the challenges are definitely there. But you need to believe in what you do and do what you believe in, and definitely get through.
Yes. So what are some of the current issues that you talk about in your show?
Like we talked about the migration issue, the Africans settling down. These are, we talk about problems affecting Africans in the diaspora here. You know, sometimes people say Africa, we are the least oriented people when we come to Germany. You know, definitely when we just come to Europe generally, everybody's thinking about, let's make money, let's this, let's that. You know, where do you integrate into the system, into the society that you find yourself? Where do you know, for example, our host country, Germany, how well do we Africans know Germany? How well do we understand the laws? How well do we understand the culture? How are we able to blend or integrate into the culture while keeping and preserving our African culture?
Das ist wirklich super. Du bist ja nicht nur producer, you're not only presenter, du bist auch Produzent.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay, I produced because it was a program that came from it's my concept. So I produce the program. I have my executive producer who scripts, or sometimes before some issue, I have my executive producer, I have my programs director. You know, as a producer, you have your ideas because you're going to be talking to the public. But before then, you have to bring these ideas to your programs director, to your executive producer, the script. They can tell you, okay, this is okay, this can go on air, this cannot go on air, and, you know, things. Basically, that's what, as a producer, I don't just have all the liberties to, you know, throw my questions on air. I have to always confer with my executive producer or my programs director.
That's great. Am 7. Mai, there's an occasion that's coming up on the 7th of May.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Wow, it's a big day.
It's a big day. Großer Tag wird sein.
It's a big day. It's a big day. The very maiden, the first of its kind in Germany, is the African Living Legends in the Diaspora 2016.
African Living Legends in the Diaspora.
Living Legends in the Diaspora. You are going to see these legends. They are going to be there, live. They are going to be on that. They are going to be there. You're going to hear from them their stories. These are normal Africans doing extra. These are ordinary Africans doing extraordinary things in the diaspora, in the society. You know, they've been able to contribute to the growth and development of the German society. You know, and also that the institutions who are responsible for the development of the German institutions, they're also going to be there to hear what these people do, how these people have contributed to this to the German society. Believe it or not, take or leave, a lot of Africans, the diaspora, are contributing their own little way to the growth and development of the German society.
That's amazing. It does take a lot of help to contribute to the growth of a country such as Germany.
Yeah, definitely.
Und unsere eigenen Afrikaner, so wie wir, die halt was extra gemacht haben mit ihrem Leben, haben auch dafür gesorgt, dass Deutschland das ist, was es heute ist. Und it's going to be a big deal. Also am 7. wird es was ganz Großes sein. Und is everybody invited?
Everybody is open. It's open. Everybody is invited.
That's amazing. Ihr seid alle eingeladen, alle. Yeah. Egal, wie du aussiehst, wo du herkommst. Okay. Du kannst einfach mit herkommen und das mit uns feiern.
Yeah, it's open. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a big day.
Okay. Ich habe hier sogar ein Plakat. Da steht's drauf, African Living Legends in Germany 2016. Und da sind sie, so sieht Afrika aus, für die, die noch nie Afrika gesehen haben. So sieht's aus. Und die werden alle an dem Tag dort sein. Ich zeige euch das mal so. Und ihr seid alle herzlich eingeladen. So. Do you have something to say to the audience?
Oh yeah, what I have to say is it's a big day. Make it a date. It's a date. Mark it on your calendar. It's an appointment. It's a termin, as the Germans would say.
Termin, genau.
Make it a point of duty to be there because, as you know, Africans, the diaspora, there are a lot of Africans in their choosing careers. We have a lot of Africans who have grown in society. We have Africans in the Beirat. We have Africans at the federal level. We have Africans who are advisors to the parliament. We have Africans who have done, no matter what, business, politics, community development, we have Africans who have distinguished themselves in all these areas. And as you know, the Living Legend Day is also a means to reorientate the German society. You know, the media is a very powerful means because the German media sometimes give the information the media gives to the people is different from what actually it is. So on that day, the people are going to really hear because these living legends, they're going to be there. You're going to hear their little stories that have prepared them, those things that have made them to do extraordinary things in society. It's going to be a great day, I promise you that. And also, there's a magazine coming up for this very edition. You know, African Heritage Media Network has been in the forefront of reorientating people about Africa and its people. And there's a special edition of this magazine that's going to be presented on the 7th of May. And this magazine is going to feature the 100 most influential Africans in Germany. Can you imagine that?
Amazing.
The 100 most influential Africans in Germany. And these 100 most influential Africans in Germany, they're all going to be there. Even the representative of the German government, they're all going to be there.
Amazing. So all these great people are going to be there on that day,
Definitely,
on that very day.
Definitely.
Amazing. Liebe Zuschauer, und damit sind wir zum Ende unserer heutigen Show auf African Outlook gekommen mit dem Thema Celebrating the African Diaspora. Das heißt aber nicht, dass wir nicht mehr feiern, sondern seid dabei am 7. Das freut mich wirklich, euch hier gehabt zu haben. I'm really, really happy. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Berlin. Hamburg, just taking your time to be here. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Es war eine Freude. Es war mir eine Freude. Und ich hoffe, euch hat es auch gefallen. Bis zum nächsten Mal auf der Show und tschüss.